Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bimmer barn. Today we're doing a special little test because I've been suffering from bad gas mileage on my 335i swapped wagon, and I want to find out if we can clean the oxygen sensors to help improve the efficiency of the motor. Now my car has 200,000 miles on the motor and I'm not sure how old the oxygen sensors are, but obviously I'm trying to avoid the cost of replacing them. So we're going to try this little trick out today, and then we're going to drive the car over the weekend and see if we can get any improvement in the gas mileage. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Now obviously the oxygen sensors are still on my car and you could try to remove them without removing the downpipes, but I think that's going to be pretty hard to show on camera, and it's also going to be pretty difficult, period. So let's go ahead and lift the car in the air. I'm going to really quickly remove the downpipes. Mine are aftermarket, so they're going to be really easy to slide out, but it should be the same case with the OEM ones. And then from there we're going to be able to remove the pre-cat oxygen sensors, which are the ones responsible for the air-fuel ratio of the car, or hence the gas mileage, and then we'll be able to clean them over there on the bench. So like I said, let's go ahead and start by lifting up my wagon. Now this job is mainly done from underneath the car, obviously, but we do have to get access underneath the hood because the oxygen sensors, the pre-cat ones, they actually connect up to the harness right here underneath this plastic beauty cover. So we do need to remove the cabin filter and the cowl, and then this beauty cover right here to disconnect the oxygen sensors. We'll probably just feed the wires over to this side so that they'll come down and out from the car without any snagging. And then, like I said, we're gonna move underneath the car, disconnect the oxygen sensors down there, and then we'll work on the hardware that connects the down pipes to the rest of the exhaust system. Now, like I said, removing the downpipes makes it a ton easier to change out your oxygen sensors, especially if you're going to be doing the pre-cat ones, and that's going to be the ones right up here. So we're just going to grab a 22mm wrench, and that's going to break free the oxygen sensor, and then we can start our cleaning procedure. Now, as you can see, our oxygen sensors are completely blacked out by the carbon buildup from miles and miles of my car running rich. And this is common for a turbocharged vehicle, for the car to run rich, because it's a lot safer than a lean condition. However, this does cause the oxygen sensors to fail prematurely, and not necessarily even fail, but they'll start to read inaccurately because a lot of the ports on the sensor itself will be blocked up by that physical carbon. So what we're going to do is a two-step process. We're first going to soak the oxygen sensors in this Bimmer B12 chem tool. This is a injector cleaner that I really love using when I'm doing like a walnut blasting or really just cleaning intake valves on N54 motors, because it does a great job of breaking down that persistent carbon gunk that gets accumulated on the intake valves. But that's just to loosen up the particles. Then we're going to follow up tomorrow with some carb and choke cleaner. So we're going to try to let these things sit for at least 12 hours and then come back with some pressurized carb and choke cleaner to really get all the carbon buildup out of the sensor, and then we'll reinstall them and test them out for the weekend. Now this is either going to work or it's going to be a total bust, but either way, I love to learn by doing. So let's go ahead and set that timer and let these things sit for a while.
Many hours later.
So it's been about 18 hours now that we let them sit. I think that's plenty of time. Now we're going to go ahead and clean them with some of that carbon choke cleaner, and we can already see some particles floating in the cup here. So that's pretty encouraging to know that some stuff's already fallen off, and we're going to get the rest with that pressurized spray. So let's go ahead and get to work.
Moments later.
And now before we start driving the car for the weekend and determine what sort of improvement or decline we have in the efficiency of my car, I think we should go ahead and just check the current information on the screen here. Now, as you can see, I'm currently getting about 21.1 miles to the gallon, and that's average over, I think this last trip, or it's probably been 300 or 500 miles, something like that. But you can see on the trip here, from the last 800 miles, average speed 26.9 and miles to the gallon 21.5. So I really haven't gotten this car to go above 22. But what I will do before we start this test is I'm going to go ahead and reset all of these numbers right here. And now we'll have both a current measure of the miles to the gallon just from this trip, and then we'll also have it combined with my previous history of fuel efficiency, and we'll see if this number right here goes up and by how much. So I'm going to go ahead and give this thing a quick wash. We're going to be driving it all weekend, and then we'll come back at the end of the video to show you guys exactly what sort of improvement we got in the fuel efficiency.
Eventually.
All right, so it's been a few days now of driving this car mixed between highway and city, and let's take a look. I'll be honest, I was keeping my eye on the MPG gauge, and I did not notice it really going up much. But in good news, I don't think it went down at all. And so if you recall correctly, 21.1, that hasn't changed, but our trip meter reset, so our average speed was higher, 28.8 miles per hour, but the miles to the gallon is around the same, 21.3. It was 21.5 before. I will say, I think, you know, the average speed being higher, that is going to cause a decrease in gas mileage, but also just the driving style. You know, I'm sure we would get closer to the 30s if we didn't do so much city driving, but of course, that's where we are. So overall, I guess we didn't have a big change or any measurable change at all, in my opinion, with the oxygen sensors, but I'm really curious to hear you guys' experience. So now I definitely want to hear what you guys' experience has been with cleaning your oxygen sensors in the past. So comment down below if it's worked for you, help get better gas mileage or get rid of a fault code. But here in my scenario, it clearly hasn't worked out in my favor. Let me know if you think I should just buy a new set of oxygen sensors, if maybe that will get me better gas mileage, but it might just be the style of driving that I have to put the car under and how often I plant my foot. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like or a comment and subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't yet. And as always, I hope everyone has an amazing day. We'll see you next time.